While staying on social media, Facebook says it's improving the world's economy and has the research to prove it. The social media company hired Deloitte to analyze its effects on the global business community, including job creation. Reed Abogadi with me now. He wrote the story in the Wall Street Journal. Check out wallstreetjournal.com for the complete article. Leo Hendry, of course, is still right beside me here. Reed, is this just crazy that Facebook hires Deloitte and Deloitte says, oh, yes, you actually are very helpful to the world?
Facebook, Sheryl Sandberg told me she's going to Davos. She's going to be sitting on a panel talking about the tech economy, how it affects the world. And I think, she wanted and Facebook wanted some fodder for that meeting, something to point to. But look, I talked to economists about this report, which says Facebook had a $227 billion and 4.1 million job impact on the global economy in the year ending October 2014. And they said, look, they looked at the study and they said the methodology is a little bit flawed here. For instance, Facebook takes credit for 16% of all handset smartphone sales in the world. The reasoning? Well, people want to use Facebook, so they're buying smartphones because of that. Now, Sheryl Sandberg told me she thinks that's actually true, especially in the developing world, but there's a lot of skepticism among economists about whether this stuff is really true or just kind of fluff.
Leo, I have to bring you in on this. I mean, I can understand that people would want a cell phone, a smartphone, but maybe not necessarily for Facebook use.
Well, I think this whole study is absurd. I mean, Facebook has 8,500 employees, and they say they're responsible for the creation of 4.5 million jobs in just the past year. Just the past year. They have a market cap that exceeds Ford and GM together. Ford and GM have more than 400,000 employees among them. This is a nice company trying to prove its bona fides in a really absurd way. I mean, that's such an exaggerated outcome.
Well, to Reed's point, this may be just pre-Davos. Sheryl Sandberg knows she has to speak there. She wanted some hard data to go over there with.
Well, if I were walking on stage and I had 8,500 employees, I'd prefer the audience to think I had just created 4.5 million jobs. I mean, the applause line will be greater. I just don't understand the point. The Internet is a myriad of sort of interfaces. She's one of them. She's a very successful one. To suggest, even remotely suggest, that they created 4.5 million jobs. That company alone, out of its 8,500 employees, is just laughable.
So, Reed, I want to bring you in. Obviously, you can hear what Leo is saying. Do you think there's a strategic message here? You alluded to this in front of Davos, where Facebook just wants to spread its product. So is there some sort of strategy angle here about maybe there's going to be world leaders there, business leaders, and essentially it's in Facebook's best interest to put its best foot forward?
Yeah, absolutely. And first of all, I mean, Leo's absolutely right. I think I maybe was a little bit nicer in my description of this, but I think it's, the numbers here really don't add up. So the question is then why? I mean, Facebook's totally been more successful than anybody imagined over the last year. Why do they have to prove that they have this impact on the world? Now, I think there might be a couple of strategic reasons. I mean, one might be ego in Davos, but another, I think, is that the tech industry is taking a lot of heat for actually getting rid of jobs, taking away jobs. And I think Sheryl Sandberg and other people in the tech industry want to prove that that's not the case, that this technology is actually creating jobs. Now, there are a lot of people who would beg to differ, and I think a lot of economists who would probably point to other studies that suggest technology has kind of harmed the economy. So I think that's really the debate that is the subtext of this study.
All right, that actually makes all the sense in the world. Reed, thank you very much. Reed Abogadi joining us there, Wall Street Journal reporter. As a reminder,